Hi, this is Peggy Rojas, host of Viviendo una Vida en Balance. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media.
This is Kim Meyer, the host of Choose to Rise here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, Choose to Rise, where we talk about living with positive mindsets, how to increase our confidence, building our faith, and living out our life on purpose. A new show comes out via podcast every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And if you want to catch the episode live instead, stop by Public House Media around 6:45 Central Standard Time, Monday, Wednesday, Friday as well. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you'll never miss an episode of Choose to Rise. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
How's it going, everybody?
Hey guys.
Coffee with Keith.
And Katie on Public House Media.
Thank you so much for joining us, as always, in our Chicago North Side apartment. We have our coffee with us. Hope you have your coffee with you. And we had coffee with a special friend of mine this past week. Name is Michael Smalls. You're killing me, Smalls.
Killing me, Smalls.
Smalls is a tour guide, was a tour guide of the Houston Astros. So, of course, we had to have him as a part of our tour guide series.
Yeah.
Because Katie has had a couple of her tour guide co-workers on, but they were just with the Cubs at Wrigley Field. So now we got a new team and a new venue covered.
Another World Series champion tour guide.
You'll get to see Michael's World Series championship ring.
Compare,
he got his.
See whose is better, Cubs or Astros.
Well, just the fact that it was the Cubs is better.
It is.
However, his ring is pretty impressive.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a pretty good ring. So we had a great time hanging out with Smalls. He told us some cool stories about doing tours at Minute Maid Park and for the Astros, and some of those were really quite funny, and he was a great guy to have on. He's been a good friend of mine for a while now. So it was cool to talk to Smalls and for you guys to exchange some old war stories.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So tour guide series continues right now. Hey guys, welcome to Coffee with Keith and Katie and Michael Smalls. We just call him Smalls.
Killing me, Smalls.
Heard that a couple times.
We're continuing the tour guide series. We've done a few of those. We had Ice Cream with Joe, Movies with Robert. Who did we just have? JT.
We had JT. We just had coffee with JT.
Had JT.
Nothing special about JT.
Now, what's one of the special things about Smalls is that he wasn't a Cubs tour guide. He's an Astros tour guide.
Astros, baby. I know you can't see that, but see that
Two
bling?
World
Series rings. Two separate World Series rings.
Right?
One room.
So
tell us about your experiences with the Astros there.
Well, I actually liked it. To be honest, when I first started working with the Astros, I did not like baseball. I'd never been to a real baseball game. First year, I didn't work that often because I was working another company and I was gone a lot, but that entire year I did not go to a single baseball game with the Astros, and we had free tickets. So that should tell you something. First game I ever went to was Yankees-Tigers game at Yankee Stadium. That was like a year into me working with the Astros. So when I got back, I was like, I like the game. I should try to see what happens. Of course, it kind of coincided perfectly with the Astros meteoric rise, sorry. So it was fun just seeing them take off. I mean, we had a couple of things happen in Houston with Harvey, and I think that kind of propelled them a little bit too. But overall, tour guide, I know a lot of useless facts about the Astrodome, about Minute Maid Park, I guess it's not useless about Astros baseball history, but it was a great experience. It helped me a lot with just speaking in front of people talking, and I loved the elementary school educational tours we had. Kids said some funny things, asked some funny questions, and it was always cool to work there because it was something new every day.
So a lot of Cubs tour guides are actors, comedians, teachers. Is that similar for the Astros?
Not really, no. Most of the people that were working there were huge Astros fans that wanted to find a way to work for the company. There was one lawyer, but she was just kind of doing as I'm old, I'm retired, I just want a job. There's another guy that had done tours for the city of Houston for like 50 years. And so he just liked it, so he did it. But a lot of it was just kids in high school. I mean, there was one high schooler, there was a couple of kids in college just like having a job. It was just something that people did to pass the time.
Okay.
But to be honest, I was probably the worst as far as actually baseball. They all loved it. They were at every Astros game they could possibly go to. And they breathed baseball, and I don't.
That sounds
still.
like me.
Sounds, yeah, right? Like, I enjoy the job, but this is the team right here. don't ever forget that.
The Astros are in the ALCS, and he's watching the Lakers game.
I mean, right now, we're watching the Astros.
We got
the
the
Lakers.
Astros
Once
out
that
right
Lakers
now.
game comes on, I got to see LeBron in action.
Gotcha.
In the new Lakers uniform, so.
So what's the most ridiculous thing you know, or the craziest occurrence from a tour?
Craziest occurrence from a tour.
Weirdest thing that ever happened.
Weirdest thing that ever
best
happened.
story.
I gotta think about this for a second. Hold on.
So, we're recording. I mean, we can just
Yeah.
cut it. We can
Yeah.
edit this out. That's
Yeah.
fine.
The craziest thing?
Craziest thing, favorite story. Like mine are the lights. I love to talk about the lights.
Lights at Wrigley Field.
Yep.
What do you mean?
There's a whole story about the lights with Wrigley Field.
About why we have lights.
Okay.
But
That's
that's a different. That's your
factoid.
favorite. That's your favorite factoid. You asked him
Right.
for his.
Favorite story, I got one.
You got it. All right.
So,
Small, what's your favorite
Playing
story?
on, again, my lack of baseball knowledge and history. As you guys know, Nolan Ryan was a famous pitcher for the Astros. I mean, a bunch of other teams too, but he's still heavily involved with the Astros. His son is actually one of the head guys up top as far as player development and something like that. So Nolan Ryan at times would come to games. Me being a tour guide, I was allowed access to like areas where players were at, dugouts, that sort of thing. So the private elevators where celebrities or former players would come down, I used to like take tour people through. So one day I come up the elevator. I'm a security lady there. I see like a fan freaking out with this old guy just kind of standing there. She wasn't freaking out, but you can kind of tell she was definitely like taking pictures of him. And I was like, what's going on? Who is this guy? And I was like, whatever. So I had some people with me, so I escorted them out. I ended up getting on the elevator with the guy. And another lady comes on the elevator with me, and we're both standing there, and I'm just like, I'm not paying attention. I have no idea who the guy is. And we get off the elevator, and he walks off, and the lady's like, do you know who that is? I'm like, no, should I? And she was like, that's Nolan Ryan. And I was kind of like,
That's one you should know.
yeah, I was like, that's
You
one.
should know anybody.
I know anybody, it should be Nolan Ryan. So, I mean, it's one of those things where like now, I didn't grow up watching him. I mean, if he looked the way he did in all his pictures, obviously I would recognize him, but like he didn't, so. But I mean, that's kind of sucks because Nolan Ryan was a badass. He used to whoop people all the time on the mound. If they gave him some smoke, he came with it, so. It's kind of funny. It's a funny story, though.
That's pretty good. That's great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So now we have to compare rings.
Okay.
So Cubs, obviously, 2016. The players got diamonds and rubies. I did not. I'm not that important. But I got the general design on the front. On the sides, we have the W flag and the bricks and the ivy. Pretty cool. And then on this side, we have the marquee, the trophy, and you probably can't see it in this shot, but there are tiny little W flags at the very top of the marquee there. We had the option to have it engraved. We could send it in to be engraved, but we didn't get our names on them or anything like that. Smalls, what do you have?
So, kind of like what she said, obviously it's a little bit without some of the bells and whistles that the players got. No diamonds, no real bling. But they did a really good job, and they actually gave it to everybody in the organization, which is really cool. So we got, obviously, the colorway, blue and orange. On the side, we have 2017, Houston Strong, which was our motto during the playoffs. And then on this side, they actually put our name, which is cool. So they put our last name.
That's cool.
That's really cool. And they got a skyline of Houston. And then what's really cool is actually the inside as well. So inside the ring, they actually put the series, like what the series record was for each team the Astros beat in the playoffs.
And the team logo's on there too. That's pretty cool.
And it is cool. And the cool thing is, like, you see who we beat. We beat the Yankees, Red Sox, and Dodgers. We beat the Blue Bloods because we are the best team in MLB.
So, So baseball still isn't really your thing, but obviously you're an Astros fan.
Yes.
Right now, ALCS is on. Boston's up 3-1.
3-1.
How devastated are you going to be when Boston wins this series?
There will be no devastation out here. I got a hot take for everybody out there.
Hot
It's 3-1. That doesn't mean anything. The Astros about to win 3 straight. We're winning the whole thing again. And although I'm not going to be working there, I'm going to finagle a way to find another ring, baby.
Small just going to say, so I know I have no affiliation with you guys anymore, but you just want to give me a ring?
It may work, it may not. Either way, Astros winning the World Series. The series is
Winning
not
the
over.
World Series.
This is the World Series. This isn't going to stop here. Come on now.
I think it's gonna end
Hot take.
Hot take.
Right now.
Astros win the World Series. By the time this airs,
It's going to be a cold
we
take.
might know. All right, everyone. Smalls, thank you so much for joining us, sharing
letting
your
me come.
experiences about being with the Astros and sharing your ring.
Thank you, guys.
All
It's
right.
fun.
Cool. So,
Hey.
don't go away. We'll be right back with more Coffee with Keith and Katie after this.
Hey guys, welcome back to Coffee with Keith and Katie. Hope you enjoyed your time with us and Smalls. He was a great guest to have on, a great continuation of the tour guide series.
Great guy, great personality. Yeah, it was a pleasure to chat with him and go over everything that he experienced when he was still living in Houston. From Texas originally, went to Texas A&M, straight Texas guy through and through. So it was cool to have him on.
And it was nice to meet someone who also doesn't recognize significant sports figures.
Right, that Nolan Ryan story that got me. It's one of the most famous guys to play baseball ever, and he's your city's Babe Ruth, and he didn't know he was in the same elevator with that. That was something else.
Looking at a picture of Nolan Ryan later, I can understand why Smalls didn't know who he was.
Oh yeah.
I had the same thing with Billy Williams at Wrigley Field. Everyone's talking to this old guy with a white mustache.
Yeah,
Okay.
you take the person away from their element, especially, Nolan Ryan doesn't look how he looked when he was, pitching no-hitters. So, some of those guys are easy to miss. But, I mean, you're at the stadium. You gotta know who Nolan Ryan is. So,
I'm with Smalls, though. I do that all the time.
yeah.
If you're not expecting to see that person, if there's no reason for Nolan Ryan to be in that elevator,
Yeah.
why would you think it's him?
But anyways,
Anyway.
it was great having him on. I hope
Yeah.
you guys enjoyed watching that as much as we enjoyed talking to him. So, to end the show, it's the Packers off week this week, so no Packer predictions. However, we do have a This Day in History, October 21st.
That's today.
Since we were talking about baseball, we're going to stick on the baseball topic. 1980. October 21st, 1980, this day in history, the Philadelphia Phillies won their first ever World Series championship.
Their first one ever.
First one ever.
And they're not an expansion team like the Astros.
No, their first year was like 1889 or something like that. It was in the late 1800s, and it took them from the late 1800s to 1980 to win their first World Series. They've only won two.
Only won two.
1980 and 2008, I want to say. 2008 was their last one. So, it took them like 98 years or something like that to win their first World Series. So,
That's
nobody
pretty
ever
cool.
talks about that streak.
No. Well, it's the Phillies.
Right. So,
So
there you go. Did you know? 1980, October 21st, Philadelphia Phillies, first World Series championship. There you go.
which talks about how the season timing has changed.
Yeah.
Because October 21st, we haven't even started the World Series yet.
Is that when they were still only playing like 142 games in a regular season?
In 1980?
I don't know. I'm not a big baseball guy. I'm not huge on baseball, so I don't know.
I don't know.
All right.
Neither.
Hey, you guys look it up.
Yeah.
And let us know on the comments below. We're not going to look it up ourselves.
We're not.
We're going to wait for
very
you.
busy.
We're going to wait for you to tell us.
See if you actually watch
We're
this.
too lazy. All right.
It's our way to test you.
All right. Everybody, if you made it this far throughout the show, Thank you so much for joining us for coffee. We will be back next week.
Yes.
While we are with Tyler Overlay.
Yes. We'll learn about
A coffee, another
coffee.
Cuban coffee, Cafecito, a
Yes.
coffee expert from Miami.
Yeah.
So he's going to show us how he does his coffee next week. You're not going to want to miss it. Great guy, great coffee. But the only way to find out, join us again next week, same time, same place, 9 a.m. Sundays on Public House Media. Everybody take care, and we will see you later.